Okay, perfect.
Live?
Yes.
Manan, what is it today? What day do we have?
It is
It
April
is?
12th.
April
Pitches
12th?
round 2.
Pitches round 2. Class, how are you feeling today? Make some noise! Super excited. So we have 3.5 minutes to maximum 4 minutes pitches of yours. 5 of the projects will be presenting. This is the second round. We have 2 weeks left. Super excited. Who is team number 1? Okay, awesome. Please come forward. Without further ado, please kick it off. A big round of applause. Thank you.
Okay, great. Should be all set. Awesome. Let me just refresh. And perfect. Oh yeah, actually, right before we start, sorry, if you could sit down for a second. We have a couple more announcements. Yes. Yes. Awesome. So as we know, oh sorry. Okay, this is not intended. I am. Okay, give me a minute.
I thought the teams are nervous.
I know, I'm nervous today.
Can we pull it in a little bit and
Yeah.
get rid of this?
Mhm.
You're the advocated version of the nervousness.
Okay, awesome. So just to,
Unstable.
we're good.
It's working. Yep, go for it.
Awesome. So just once again to introduce our fantastic judges, we have Jarek, Senior Director of Investigation at Binance. So a round of applause for him. And second, we have Barbara Vera, who is the Creative Director at Doingood of NFT Marketplace. So give a round of applause. And finally, we have Scott Nelson, who is at Compliance Technology and a blockchain pioneer, RegTech investor, and startup advisor and mentor. So a round of applause for him. Awesome. So just once again, a recap of the format for today. So the pitches are maximum 4 minutes. We're going to have our timer on our wonderful iPad over there. So just turn your attention there and make sure you're on time. We're going to have 8 minutes of judge feedback. And all of you guys, while a team is presenting, all of you will be giving peer feedback in the peer feedback form. So on Slack, please go ahead and open the peer feedback form. So it is mandatory to fill out all the form for all 9 teams, at least the multiple choice section, where you are giving all the teams a score on a linear scale on multiple different points. Then, for at least 6 out of 9 teams, it is mandatory to give written feedback about certain things that they could improve on or whatever the questions are in the form. And we have our team order here, team 9, 6, 5, 1, and 7. So again, please make sure you're all ready. And we got this. Good luck for today. And yeah, I think at this point, without further ado, we can kick it off. So give a round of applause for Mona Lisa art. Okay. That's good? Yep. Oh, sorry. Share this tab instead. Okay, now we're good? Okay.
All good?
So hi everyone, thank you very much for being here and for the judges as well at this late hours. So my name is Arnaud, this is Alexander, and we are the two co-founders of Modernized. The vision of Modernized is to become the bridge between the physical and the digital arts. And our mission is to extend the physical collection into the digital collection of all art stakeholders.
So mankind has always been drawn by art. Art has evolved with humanity, centuries after centuries, from cave to canvas to now the digital art. And we think that this digital revolution is a huge opportunity for Mona Lisa, but also for all of you.
So concerning the markets, what's interesting to notice is that the physical art market has lost 22% of its value during COVID-19, and at the same time, the digital art industry has more than doubled. We can also notice that the galleries take an average 40 to 50% of commission on each art sales, which is huge. And concerning our competition, in the physical art market, we have all the galleries, the museums, and the online art websites, sales websites. And for the digital art market, we have all the platforms like OpenSeas that are selling NFTs, and also all the blockchain startups that are registering the art transactions.
So after analyzing the market, you have identified three main takeaways that could be considered as a problem. So the first one is that there is no visibility within the art industry. So this could lead to some money laundering problem. The second one is that there is a lack of security when it comes to authenticate art. So this could lead to some counterfeit problems. And the third problem we have identified is that there is some actors, some traditional actors such as museums or galleries who are struggling to do the digital transformation. And we think that this is a huge opportunity for us.
Okay, but what would be modernized art? Modernized art will be an app that will gather all the utilities and the features that art stakeholders might need to manage their art. Like a low-fee marketplace, only 8% in comparison to the 40 to 50% of galleries and museums. Galleries. We want to create a community around art. We want to secure the transactions through the blockchain, and we want to create tools for promotion for the artist and for analyzing for the investors.
So we are going to create a two-sided marketplace. On one side, we will find the actors we consider as partners, who are the museum and artists. So they are the ones who are going to register physical art on our app, and we will then be transformed into NFTs. And on the other side, you will find some people we consider as customers, who are the art collectors, NFT collectors, and the curious users.
Few words about the technology. So at first, we want to use Polygon because it's way cheaper than Ethereum, and it's relying on Ethereum. It's only a fraction of cents per NFT registered. We might switch later on Ethereum when the prices get lower. And if you buy the modernized pack, what did you get? You will receive two certificates, one for the ownership and one for the authentication. And you will receive two NFTs, one that is a perfect reproduction of the art, and one that is the modernized style of the art.
So let's talk about our pricing model. So as Arnaud said, we will provide a monolithic pack that will cost $75, but we will also take fees on all physical and digital sales through our marketplace. And this fee would be of 8%.
Well, I'm not going too deep into the finance, but to reach our break-even point in April 2026, we need $1.9 million.
And to finish our next step, so we are going to keep working on the architecture of the app. We are going to finalize the selection of the blockchain. We are going to secure some partnership with some museum and artists, and we are going to keep interviewing to improve our project. Thank you
very much.
Great. I'll pull up the judges. Okay. Awesome. Okay, great. So thank you so much. Judges, it's your time to give feedback. Okay, Tommaso.
Yeah, Barbara, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. Why not? So, I mean, I think the product is pretty interesting. I have just like a question. This is going to be like a website or like an application? It's going to be an app, right?
First, it will be an app, and we want to create later also the website. But first, an app.
Yeah, because like for example, in doing good, what the problem that we have right now for like customer is like most of the people, everybody is like in their phones, and we have like our user experience is not that cool in phone yet because of the blockchain and Web3 experience now. So I think as an app, it's pretty cool. It's like meant to be because because of the presentation, it said like it's gonna be first in Polygon and then in Ethereum, or are you guys gonna like you can actually as a user can choose which blockchain you wanna use?
Exactly. For now, we are still gathering information about the blockchains to see which one we will choose. But for now, our first idea is to start with Polygon because it's reliable and cheap. And we will check how Ethereum is evolving in the future.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think like most of the collectors are, of course, in Ethereum blockchain. I mean, like, I think that it's pretty cool, and people get really interested in Polygon, because it's cheap and it's better for the environment and everything. I think it will be awesome if you can actually, like, people can actually pick where they want to meet their NFT, if they want to use Ethereum and Polygon. But I think it's a pretty cool idea actually, because most of the people, they think like you can become your physical art into NFT. They're always like, oh, why am I gonna get a the NFT that is digital if I can just put it in my house? People don't understand that you can actually make your physical art and as a digital. So I think it's pretty interesting.
Okay. Exactly. Okay.
Jarek, you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. Now, I also have to kind of complement the choice of the blockchain. Of course, Polygon now is much cheaper, and this is going to stay for a long time, at least that way. Have you considered other blockchains as well, or was the Polygon kind of number one that popped up on your mind?
We considered other blockchain, but now our direction is to go through Polygon and maybe Ethereum later.
Okay,
But-
great. Now, when it comes to galleries, of course, you mentioned OpenSea. What are the other competitors in there when it comes to delivering similar services you intend to do?
Sure. If we go more deep into the competition, we are not the only one to have this idea. We can see already some galleries and museums that are creating NFTs of their own collection in Italy, in France, America also. So we are not the only one, but the quantity of arts that we can transfer into the digital world is huge. So yeah, there is not only OpenSea for sure.
Yeah, sure. No, there are quite a few competitors. Of course, being from Binance, we have of course the marketplace on our own as well. So basically, I wanted to ask you, how are you going to compete with brands that are already kind of established and up there? And how are you going to compete against the museums that are already kind of putting their own application in place? Basically, you are competing with sources from two different sites, and you have to provide an edge. And you mentioned the costs on the Polygon network. You mentioned your costs commission, which are smaller. What are the other advantages you will offer apart from the certification, which like many of the platforms offer as well?
Okay. It I just freeze a bit at the beginning. Can you just repeat the first question? And the rest is okay.
Yeah, it was related to the the competitors and how you plan to basically differentiate yourself from what is already up there, from both kind of museums and from the main large vending platforms like OpenSea or other marketplaces.
Okay. So our idea first is to not to see the museums as a competition, but more like partners. Our idea is to trade legitimacy. The museums will give us legitimacy, and we will give them visibility. So trade visibility against legitimacy to create a partnership, and to transform their own collection into the digital NFTs. Our idea is if we succeed to reach some partnerships with some museums at the beginning, we will gain more and more legitimacy to make partnerships with other and bigger museums. I don't know if in real world it will be like this, but that's our main idea.
Okay. Now, in this type of business, the network effect is really important. What are you going to build kind of first, the art collection or the number of visitors coming to the site? Because, of course, if you are promising visibility in the beginning, you will not be there. So what are you going to drive first?
But we are also like going to target artists, because artists doesn't have like any support now to sell on the, like they have to do it by themselves. So we'll provide like for multiple artists who don't have like the digital knowledge to do it. So we'll try to target them at the beginning. Then when we'll have like a sufficient number of artists, try to evolve with some museum or some galleries. When we already have a base of people who are already selling art, physical or digital art on our marketplace.
Scott, we wanna get some feedback from Scott. Thank you so much, Jared. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, for sure. Hey, and apologize. I've got browser setting to kill my video, and I couldn't get it posted back up once I logged in here. But anyways, hey, and I kind of, to be honest, my main feedback was actually at the tail end of Jarek's comments, which was really like, how are you going to bootstrap a two-sided marketplace? As we all know, it's pretty hard to just like build a startup to begin with, but when you're actually trying to like get a two-sided marketplace off the ground, it's very tough. And again, just to kind of keep this short, I'm not going to ask a bunch of questions, Tommaso, to your point. So, but I would say it's like maybe look at other startups who've been very successful, like an Airbnb. I know it's not blockchain based, but they have created a very successful two-sided marketplace. And there's others that I could reference as well. But I would just say, as my feedback, take a look at some of the other models that have been successful out there and maybe try and emulate what they've done.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, startup. Thank you, jury. Thank you.
Okay. Awesome. And now, perfect. So up next, we have Apollo Music. Give a round of applause to them. Yes. Oh, sorry. Okay, we're good.
Okay, okay, cool.
Hello, judges. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. We are Apollo Music. So a recent experience I had recently was I was buying a ticket to a Keshi concert, one of my favorite artists. He was performing in the Bay at the Regency Ballroom on June 11th. And I wanted to buy a ticket, and retail was $40, very reasonable. He's a really good artist. So I woke up 10 a.m. ready to buy the tickets. 1 minute later, right after sales, there was no more tickets. So in the resale market, I looked on Ticketmaster, it was $97. Instant appreciation, doubling the price. Unfortunately, I paid $97, which sucks. But then I looked recently on the resale market, 2 months later. Ticket, $162. So in the span of 2 months, this ticket appreciated 4x. Now, obviously, I was really upset with the situation because I had to pay more for the ticket. But you know who else was upset? Kisha was really upset. I think as an artist, you are the one providing value in this market. And if you're not capturing that value, you see that value appreciate by 4x and you're not getting any of it. It's really a question of, why is it this way? Is there a better solution? So in the US, $72 billion in ticket revenue. Of that, $20 billion is part of the resale market. This is $20 billion that artists are not capturing. On the other side, as a fan, I was also pretty disappointed because I bought this resale ticket in March. I wasn't actually going to get anything until 3 months later. This 3 months where I was having doubts of whether I would actually receive a ticket, which is going to deliver to me as a QR code. So 12% of fans report getting scammed. And in the US, this amounts to around 11 million fans every year. 11 million fans, and assume $100 per ticket, for example, that's around $1.1 billion of scam value. So here at Apollo Music, we're looking to revolutionize the industry by allowing musicians to mint, sell, resell, as well as manage their NFT tickets. For musicians, they'll definitely benefit in the cut of the resale value, as well as lower fees. For fans, for example, for myself and others, it'll provide a platform for more secure transactions and confidence that you're actually getting the ticket that you're paying for. So when we compare ourselves to other competitors, we definitely have the traditional players such as Ticketmaster, but then we're really comparing ourselves to these new NFT ticket startups such as Yellowheart and Oviet. I think in that sense, where we're looking to differentiate ourselves is around trackable fan loyalty and this idea that we'll introduce around liquidity returns. So on our progress, we're looking to launch with VIP tickets and then eventually launching with general ticketing once we have a proof of concept with the VIP tickets. You want to talk about the tech demo?
Yeah, so currently in terms of technical development, we've built our landing page out, and right now we're trying to direct traction towards the landing page. So we're trying to get, at least enough to get users on our page and see what we're doing. And on top of that, we've deployed on Rinkeby. So technically we are developing on Ethereum, but we're probably going to port to Polygon once we've fully developed our product. And yeah, in the future, I think our goal is to essentially deploy our contracts, get everything audited, and then basically launch.
So talking about traction, we understand that this is kind of a two-sided market. So we want to attract artists by gathering a huge fan base of people who are interested in developing and having the solution. So as Naman mentioned, we're pulling fans into our fan base. So right now we have around, I think, 50 or so email signups on our website, and we're looking to grow that through other marketing channels. On the side, we're also reaching out to artists. We're trying to get a letter of intent from the artist so that we can have that two-sided market. We're actually providing value to these artists other than just having a ticketing platform. Lastly, major thing about multiple revenue streams. We see the market kind of moving toward a 0% fee structure. And with that, we're going to offer and differentiate ourselves through liquidity pre-sales. So the funding ask is $150,000 for a 6-month runway. And this will get us to the point where we can offer general admission sales. Thank you.
Awesome.
Can we go Scott first?
Sure. Yeah. Well, listen, guys. I think it's I actually have some friends that are pretty deep into the music business and the industry, so I think this is actually a pretty great idea. I know there's a number of startups that have been trying to, somehow give value back to the artist, which I think is a great thing. One thing I think would be interesting for you guys to dabble with, and I don't know if you've kind of thought about this in your go-to-market strategy, but somehow getting influencers into, your genre, into your community, and helping those, influencers really, get this thing off the ground. And obviously, in addition to the fans are fans, and they're going to help you as well. But I think that might be something good for you guys to explore.
Definitely noted. I think we're also reaching out to like the TikTokers and other influencers.
We're hoping that we can use influencers to basically, or we're hoping that we can find influencers that are fans of specific artists and use them on our platform as well to just give them a larger cut in terms of resale value.
We're going to target the EDM as a subgenre initially, just because we know that the willingness to pay is pretty high, as well as they're all concentrated in very physical events.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Definitely utilize, what you guys are familiar with and where your experience lies, because that will help you, accelerate much faster.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Scott. Jared, you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. No, I'm definitely on point there with Scott regarding influencers. Of course, you have to get the ball rolling at first, and this is nice and relatively cheap way of getting the business done. Now, of course, you will have to differentiate from products that are out there. And you mentioned that you want to do it through liquidity returns and fan loyalty. Can you expand a bit more on that? Because if these are the kind of crucial differentiating factors, then users have to be sure, okay, is it really worth it to use this product instead of the others?
So there is a time delay between the time the fan pays for a ticket and when the funds are transferred to artists. So we're thinking using this liquidity pool to make some kind of zero risk investments like on Aave with flash loans that yields some sort of return. And flash loans are essentially zero risk. So we're thinking that if artists agree to that, then we can basically reduce the transaction fee to zero and basically get rid of the ticketing fee as well and pay the artist that way. So that was one of our differentiating factors that we didn't have time to touch up on more.
Okay, no, that's great. Yes, once I can imagine that once you basically get big, this would be a viable option of financing. Not completely sure if it will really make up for a large part of the income you kind of decide to forego on the commissions, but it is a nice part of the revenue stream coming your way. So yeah, thank you.
Thanks. Well, thank you so much. Barbara, you want to go next?
Yeah, well, I think it's a pretty cool idea. I would definitely start building community. I think that's one of like the main things that we are like, not only with influencers, like just be all the time, on Telegram and Discord and make like community for everyone. And I think like to be active in tourist space too is like a really big thing for musicians, like photographers and everyone that is creative. So I think it will be really cool to put effort, like a lot of effort on that size.
Thank you. No,
Thank
definitely your next step.
Have you guys started with doing something in the community space or building communities or you touched very light upon traction, right? But you mind double clicking on that again?
Yeah, we're basically essentially building up a waiting list from the fan side, and from the artist side, we're reaching out to artists and trying to get letter of intent. And once we get that, we can basically reach out to their fans directly and build a Discord channel of some sort. And
so this hypothesis of reaching out to their fan directly, where does it come from?
I think the idea behind it is that we need to offer two pools of traction. I think by developing a general fan pool and just saying, hey, we have this marketing audience of 1,000, 2,000 people who are very interested in this. You as a musician are always looking for ways to further increase your ticket sales. So by partnering with our system, we give you access to this dedicated group who they're more likely to buy VIP tickets or high premium tickets. And then from there, if we get access to the musicians' fan base too, because they want to always upsell and sell a higher premium ticket. From there, you can kind of start to snowball your fan acquisition and awareness.
You guys double click on you guys train and rehearse the storytelling part at the beginning?
Great advice.
Yeah. Congratulations. Class, by the way, collective learning here, right? And this is no judge, just assessment, right? Did you see the difference between startup 1 introduction and startup 2? Like, not because I'm saying it, but did you see kind of how you follow the story way better than just the fact-oriented stuff? Yes, no, thumbs up, thumbs down. You guys stay. You see that? Cool, awesome. Well, thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, guys.
So, as a tokenomics nerd, I'm really interested in what you guys are going to be approaching, building a new market around tickets in general. So I would encourage you, more than like prescribe a solution, to think about what you can do that you couldn't do outside of this like smart contracting world, to lean into some really advantageous markets for new people. It's like you say, the thing that pissed off the artist was the scalper technique, and I don't think that your markets are going to get rid of scalpers. If anything, this is going to be, the pump crew who's trying to pump all the ticket prices even more to make more revenue for themselves, and now the artists are in on it. So this could potentially be a toxic environment. And I wonder if you guys could, maybe as you're approaching this, think through some of those logistics. Like, how do you encourage a healthy market that makes everybody happy?
Yeah, I think that moment to respond or thought. I think with the idea around trackable fan loyalty, one idea is that maybe you can only buy, say, like a certain pre-sale amount if you previously had a ticket and have gone to an event, and you can look at that through your wallet for that NFT. That's one way we're thinking about maybe changing that, and I agree with you. It just gives incentives for the artists to pump more. So as a fan, probably even worse for myself.
Incentives that would be fun. We should talk later.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you.
Okay. Great. Let me share a tab once again. Okay, this time it's sharing, right? Okay, perfect. So for you guys, yes, we're all set. Okay, we're good? Okay, perfect. Okay, cool. 4 minutes.
Hello, everyone, and judges. Back in 2001, my sister was diagnosed with thalassemia. So for people who don't know, thalassemia is a fatal disease where the body can't produce its own red blood cells and requires a bone marrow or now a stem cell treatment. For that, my family had to drop their jobs. Both my parents left their jobs, moved across the country, took a huge amount of loan from banks and extended family, and that thankfully saved my sister's life. Believe me when I tell you that that's not only my family story. That's because 70% of medical expenses in India are out of pocket expenses, and that leads to a lot of families bankrupt and feeling helpless because they cannot cater to the needs of their loved ones. People are in dire need, and when they have no resources left, they turn to crowdsourcing, or they have started to turn to crowdsourcing. There was a recent survey which said that more than 90% of people borrowed money during the pandemic. And that is why we are introducing Health Change. Health Change is a digital first blockchain platform for medical crowdfunding.
So basically our website will be like this. We will have a part if you want to donate money and one if you want to receive money. So if you want to receive money, you just have to fill out a form. And if you want to give money, you will see like people's stories and you could just do a donation. So a lot of you may think right now that a lot of other crowdfunding platforms do exactly the same. So how are we different? All the existing crowdfunding platforms lack of transparency and trust. A lot of them also have risk of fraud, and that's what we want to solve with blockchain.
So Health Change is different in 4 ways. The first one is we only release funds to legitimate cases. Second one is all our transactions and our users are verified. The third one is we reduce operational costs by reducing our intermediaries. And the fourth one is we have a global reach through crypto-enabled cross-border donations. The crowdfunding market is huge and the giving away market in India as well. But more importantly, our go-to-market strategy. We have a go-to-market strategy in 4 steps. First one is create partnerships with NGOs and private practitioners in certain areas in India where we have connections to. Second step is to open the platform with the traction that we get from step 1 to the general public. Third step is open our platform to whole India. And then the fourth step is expand to neighboring countries, the whole the APEC market. Our business model pretty straightforward. We have free sign up for patients, free sign up for NGOs, and a commission model, 1 to 5% transaction fees, and people are also able to tip us or donate money directly to us. Where do we stand today? We started to build our MVP. We already have 2 NGOs lined up that are going to use our service. We have 3 private clinics in India that are recommending our service to their patients. And we have a couple of people willing to donate. Our next steps are more partnerships with medical doctors and NGOs in order to go live with our first crowdsource case. We are right now raising pre-seed funding and we are looking for connections in the healthcare space. And we would like to leave you with one thought. Imagine a world where nobody has to say goodbye to their loved ones anymore because of unaffordable medical expenses. That is how we envision the world. We are Health Change, and we are open to any questions now.
Oh, we can pause that. Thank you. Okay. Cool. Perfectly on time. I know. That's awesome.
Was it Barbara or Jerry? Who wants to go first? Who was Barbara? You were first already, right? In the first round. I think it's Jerry. Jerry.
Yeah, it's my turn now. Okay. Yeah. No, thanks for the presentation. It was a good one. Very educational. I guess no one here in the panel had idea about the magnitude of the problem in India. Thanks for painting the picture for us. I like basically your kind of growth stage. I believe that targeting practitioners as your first step is a good idea. But to do that, of course, you need an army of salespeople. How quickly do you want to basically get your first locations in 2 cities covered? What is kind of your time span over there?
So how we are targeting it is currently we are actually leading out to people who have like a widespread network. So basically, in smaller towns, the medical people are close knit. They have their regular meetings. So we are targeting people who have like high value or like high trust in there. And if they can talk about our product or just touch base upon that, then we believe that before we get to the stage where we have like salespeople or we do sales pitches, we can at least have that network where a few people are trusting us, recommending us, and from there we can hit the ground running.
Okay, great. And if I still have time, then I'm really interested in KYC and AML. You mentioned it as one of your differentiating points. What does it mean practically for users? Do they will have to upload the IDs, or is it more demanding than that?
So the idea was that what we realized from our research was that a lot of fraud comes in where people donate themselves money to raise like fraud cases, and also anonymous cases. We don't know where that money is flowing from and flowing to, right? So what we were planning to do was we were planning to use external KYC AML APIs that are already available. We make people upload their documents, and then wherever we have wallets available, we map one particular wallet to one particular user. So even if someone wants to donate anonymously, they can keep their information anonymous, but they still will be mapped in terms of who is sending money. And we also mentioned the clawback mechanism. So we'll have things like the time limit, the minimum amount needed, the maximum amount raised. And only when those are met within the smart contract, only then we'll be releasing the money to the person. Otherwise, since we'll have all the transaction records, we can just do a refund in one click or automatically.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you.
Barbara.
Well, first, I really love the idea. I really like all the ideas that can make like the world a better place, because like with the lack of help from the government. So I think like all the ideas that are like kind of like helping people, I love them. Second, I just have a kind of like recommendation. Like it's really kind of like difficult to make ASIOs to trust in blockchain. They always associate blockchain with money laundering and all that stuff. So I would recommend like create like a really PDF or a really presentation for ASIOs to make them know how you guys work inside. And second, like how they can kind of like another way, like how they can actually make you know that they actually using the money in the correct way. So I will focus like really hard on those points when developing all the idea. But I think it's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you for your feedback.
Thank you so much, Barbara. Scott.
Yeah, I'll jump in. A great presentation, guys. And again, I just like our other two judges here, just a great, I think, problem to tackle. No matter where you're at, I think we've all experienced somebody in our lives that have had these issues. So I definitely applaud you guys for that. I think to kind of piggyback on what Jarek said too, I think the KYC AML thing is a really big issue coming from my standpoint, from a compliance and transparency standpoint. I think it's a good idea. I think I heard one of you mention using existing APIs that are out there, which I think is a great thing. There's also, APIs that have been developed even on blockchain, which I'm sure you guys know about. So that's awesome. Just a couple of quick, before I jump into a couple of quick comments. Also, I think leveraging the fact that you guys are doing this on blockchain and just screaming that from the top of the mountain is the biggest thing for you guys. I mean, it doesn't, we don't have to look too far back in the whole GoFundMe issue with the Canadian truckers. I mean, to show you kind of what, these sorts of things can happen, whether it's with a company or with other people trying to take money, it's a big deal. So I think what you guys are doing is great. Only a couple of things I would just comment. Show me what your actual revenue projections are in that go-to-market strategy. That would be good to see. And then on your raise slide, just tell us how much you're gonna need and what that runway is gonna look like. Otherwise, great presentation, guys.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for feedback.
Sure. So I think that your value proposition is very clear, and your story is really good. So I think I might have a slight opposed view, maybe even to what Scott's thinking about, is blockchain to me still is not a super captivating value proposition yet, but I think that you're close. I'm not sure what that magic will be, but it's like, why do we need this really expensive, clunky system that most people don't use And a lot of people associate this with the cryptocurrency aspects. So it wasn't extremely clear to me. You might want to make that differentiation. It's like you're using blockchain in this case that has nothing to do with currency, right? And you might not even mention that. And the users in the background just know that there's this validation source that's more trustable for XX reasons or whatever it might be. Or potentially lean more into that cryptocurrency side in the sense that some of your market who wants to donate, in fact, a lot of the market wants to donate, they want to donate because they have cryptocurrency that they basically want to offer. In particular, I can think of the Giving Block and a few other donation platforms. Like basically when it comes tax time, they do a few marketing campaigns and all of a sudden all the crypto whales are giving all their money. So like consider leaning into some of that potentially as a benefit for anybody who needs these funds to pay for medical procedures.
Got it. Thank you, Dan.
Thanks.
You want to hear my feedback?
Yeah.
No, I should say, I think you did a great job in terms of from last week to this week, or from last time that you pitched. I love your story, guys. I mean, I'm a big storyteller. I believe a lot that enchanting the audience is primarily like 30% about storytelling. And two things that really mark me as somebody who sits in the audience is how do you begin and how do you end? These are two moments that are fundamental when you're on stage, and you had a strong beginning and you had a great vision at the end, and in between you had definitely the right ingredients. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. So now, all right, so we have our next team, Sesame, who we'd like to invite to the stage. Give a round of applause. Okay, cool. Awesome. Are we all done near me? Dan? Yeah, good? Okay, perfect. Okay.
Hello everyone, we're Sesame. We're also presenting tickets for NFT. So meet Mary, our customer persona. She's 26 years old, she lives in California, and she really enjoys going to festivals. But she has three main pain points when it comes to purchasing tickets. First, she really thinks the marketplace fees are expensive. Second, she regrets not taking more advantage of her ticketing experience, especially since they've only been one-time affairs. And third, she's been scammed before in the market and it cost her hundreds of dollars. So you can see in these photos that all these people, like Mary, has already been scammed. And it actually takes up to 12% of the populations in the US who has already encountered this issue, and up to $30 billion of money loses. So what can we do? Well, we decided to create Sesame, which is a social marketplace that enables users and event organizers to mint and resell tickets as NFTs. And it's basically a Web3 platform that users can come up and then browse for events, purchase tickets, and then see their tickets in their wallets. And this is just a demo of the current websites look like. And then you can see that in the wallet, it's like you can access all your events tickets very easily, so you don't have the burden of finding where your tickets were saved. And what differentiates our product are three main things. One is a multi-payment method that introduces people who are currently not into crypto, find it easier to purchase ticket. And second, a all-in-one wallet, just demoed before, that you can find all your tickets in one place. And third, we offer event organizers the chance to create their customized NFT tickets, which come with privileges that they can use it to engage more deeper with their audience and create the communities. And as we stand at the cross sectors of NFTs and ticket events, there's a huge opportunities that we can see. By now, we are focusing on the music festivals industry in the US, which takes up the serviceable obtainable market to $10 billion.
talking about competition, we've discovered that there are a lot of companies leveraging the NFT's power to solve the problems we've described. But we want to bring the social marketplace for the engagement part to foster communities and also to engage with customers so they can sell out. So we'll be the main differentiation point. I'm talking about the go-to-market strategy. Well, our vertical could be used for museums, games, etc. But we decided to start with music festivals here in California, applying acquisition channels in the classical B2B techniques, like cold calls or LinkedIn, etc. And with these techniques, we've taken the interest of two festivals that will be our first customers as soon as the prototype is ready. So we will bring like 3,500 people to NFT tickets to start with. We don't have the letter of intention, but we're working on having them in the next coming weeks. And talking about the business model, we will charge $1 per ticket, which is a standard in the industry for the primary market, and a 5% commission for the secondary market, which is really like the peer-to-peer transaction.
So here's our wonderful founding team. We have Cecilia, who is one of our software engineers, along with myself, and Leia, who's in charge of marketing, and Jose, who's in charge of strategy. So before we take our leave, we want to ask you guys to imagine yourselves being in the midst of this concert, which is Live Aid 1985, one of the last Queen concerts and one of their greatest as well. It's been immortalized in a lot of areas of pop culture, but never specifically for individuals. So imagine how much value you can gain from attending this concert, and now with Sesame and NFT tickets, you'll be able to own this memory yourselves and trade it and share it with friends forever. Thank you, and we'll take any questions you have.
Who wants to go first?
Awesome.
Scott
Thank you guys. Great job.
Scott, you there?
Yeah, I'll go first. Great presentation, guys. Really appreciate it. I would say that you did a good job of kind of explaining the user persona up front. I'm sure you all have experienced this even yourselves, which might even be a little bit more powerful to kind of put yourself into that place. So that in many founders, I'm sure most of you here are trying to solve a problem that you've already experienced a pain point. Most of us do. That's why we get into the startup game. So if you can insert yourself into that persona and tell that story, I think it would be even like more powerful. But I did like the kind of starting out and kind of telling us like who is this like pain point around. I didn't see anything in there about raising money at the tail end. I don't know if you guys just didn't have that slide in there, or maybe it's just a little too early for you guys to be thinking about that. Is that the case?
Yeah, we're thinking about that, but we didn't want to make an ad before gaining some traction, for example, with these two customers and deciding the sum. So maybe for the final pitch, we're going to decide the amount and the purpose for that.
Sure, that makes sense. And my only other comment would be put a little bit more emphasis on how you're going to compete with the existing competitors, both blockchain based like OpenSea and others that are sort of established incumbents. Who some of us would like to call legacy at this stage of the game, like Ticketmaster. They definitely have holes, but I would just try and pick those apart as much as you can in the presentation. Otherwise, great job, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Who wants to go next? Help me out. Who was first, second? All right, you want to go next? Apologize that we go back and forth, but I don't keep track of this person.
No, it's okay. Well, I mean, like I had kind of like a difficult to understand the idea, to be honest. So I mean, I don't know what to say.
Okay, fair enough. So not difficult to understand in terms of the product or the value or like the overall. What are your thoughts, Barbara, so that they can take this as a feedback into their homework?
Is that for me?
Yeah, if you wanna guide them, like, did you not understand the product or the value proposition?
Yeah, no, more like the product. Like it's a place where you go and buy tickets, But what's the main difference from other products? I mean, I didn't see the difference between this product and other ones. I mean, while they were presenting, I was thinking like, oh, it should be cool if you can make like a pool where all the fans can actually buy tickets together. You know, but I wasn't kind of like concentrate well in the idea, so that's why I was like, I don't see the difference. So,
thanks for the feedback. Thank you so much. Jarek, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, interesting presentation. Now, I'm interested in the kind of, again, differentiation from the competition, like it was already mentioned here. You mentioned you will allow people to pay with different coins. Yeah, that's a kind of slight advantage, but it won't make me as a user to go and search for alternative platforms to OpenSea and other brand names. And so one of the advantages that you presented was privilege, like that you are going to give some value added that others are not delivering. Could you please expand on that? Because that is kind of what I see now as something that you want to differ from the others.
Thank you so much. Then you want to go next? You have some feedback?
Sure. So yeah, I think I would echo that the value proposition that differentiates you is a little unclear still. And you talk a lot about what that might be as a social aspect, but that wasn't what we saw in the demo. Like it's just a wallet right now. So I wonder if you really lean into that way, what are you going to be making as your product? And then, as we know, social networks are all around the network effect, right? So like, are you going to build your own or potentially plug into an existing network in some way? Because having that, like we've heard a lot of times, just getting this like network effect, whether you're building a marketplace, and this is another one of these dual sided marketplaces, right? So yeah, I think that I'd love to see more of that differentiator and what you're actually going to make tangibly better or different.
So you guys had an intriguing start with mapping out the persona, right? And then when you started approaching the product itself, it became more blurry, not very tangible. You have a highlight description of what the solution is, but then when you showed even the video, right? Sometimes being different, it's just being different. It doesn't mean it's better, right? But because innovation means always 5 to 10 times better, faster, cheaper than what's the current status quo. So when you focus on something, right, when you would like to show something, then emphasize what is the difference. And I know we have been having this conversation multiple times. And you say, well, Tommaso, I do the social part, which as long as you don't show evidence that your differentiator, right, is wanted, then you're just different. You say, okay, we are different because we do the social part. I say, okay, cool, but where is the evidence, right? So if you would have said, we have the angle of social, and over the last 3 weeks, we have created a community from 0 to 2,000, and they are communicating and wanting now, right? Then you would have shown some initial evidences of, oh, there is a social component that maybe traditional industries are not doing, right? So I echo what my colleagues are saying, different, but is the different just different, or is the differentiator better, right? And then lastly, you had, so when you present, even if you don't want to ask for money, but you always have, as an early stage startup, you have always an ask. Like you need either people, partnership, feedback, mentors, like you always have the urge and the need to contribute towards your project, right? Even if it's not money, you say, I don't want to raise money. Okay, fair. You don't want to raise money, but do you need clients? Do you need partners? Do you need advisors? I mean, you have 3 advisors, you have 3 potential advisors here that say, hey, if you love our project, I am seeking for advisors to be part of our advisory board and guide us, right? And then you ended up really nice on a vision. I think the vision part, you created a nice story again at the end. So these are my 2 cents. So congratulations, Steve.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we have our final team presenting today. And that is going to be team education. So give them a round of applause. Okay. Okay, perfect. Cool. We should be all set. Oh, watch out for the cable. Okay, perfect. And Jen, are we good on the air mute? Okay. All right, so our 4 minutes. Oh, a little bit. Okay.
Hello. Before I came to business school, I started a music tech company. We needed to hire engineering talent, and we massively struggled with this endeavor. Talent from major schools was too expensive, agencies required large monthly fees, and talent networks like Upwork and Fiverr were unreliable. I'm not alone in this struggle. A report by Forbes estimated that tens of thousands of companies are struggling right now to hire engineering talent. Furthermore, my team and I spent much of this semester interviewing hiring managers from startups. We found one of the greatest struggles that these companies are facing is evaluating engineers from non-traditional backgrounds. The explosion of online educational resources suggests the number of qualified and skilled engineers is more and more not coming from big name colleges and will continue to increase. But how these companies evaluate and hire these people is an unsolved problem. Today, we introduced Bridge. Bridge is a peer-to-peer on-chain credentialing platform focused on engineers. At its most basic level, Bridge will be a platform where you can navigate to a host of experienced engineers from companies like Facebook and Google, what we call our experts, and then see the list of engineers that these real-life people have spent time credentialing and authenticating their knowledge and skills. All these credentials will live on chain. I'll now pass it over to Pond, who will speak more to the product.
Well, guys, from a pool of candidates who are looking to enter the industry network, Bridge will help funnel applicants and provide the means for experts to certify talent. And this will come in the form of technical interviews and behavioral assessments. And the experts here will be able to, through Bridge, give an NFT, transfer an NFT to the candidate, and this will help validate them, as well as attach the NFT to their profile and help hiring managers build this through Bridge. And here is going to be how we, so when the hiring managers come and take a look at the database, this is when we take a commissions for the pay cut, for the service, for compiling this data, but also giving them access to candidates that weren't in the network before. Technology-wise, Bridge NFTs will be on Ethereum, and this is, we realize the flaws that exist now, but the future improvements, and with the current gas fees not being an issue, because most of the monetary value we take will be from hiring managers giving us the commissions anyway.
So I'll quickly talk about the competitive landscape on the non-decentralized side. There's companies like Coursera, LinkedIn, where people credential. One, there's a lot of issues with this not being on chain, running into issues like discrimination with hiring practices, as well as people just not knowing how valuable like a certification from Coursera is. On the decentralization side, there's a company like Rabbit Hole, very interesting company doing credentialing, but this is not peer-to-peer. So ultimately, it's just how well you completed these projects or these steps. And we think the evolution of this is going to be people that people can trust putting their name, that this person has the skills that they say they do. As for traction, we've interviewed almost 30 engineering hiring managers and gleaned major insights. We've onboarded our first experts from major tech companies that are going to be doing the initial credentialing. And as proof of concept, we're hoping to issue some real non-transferable tokens to the first engineers that use our platform to authenticate. So I'll conclude that while EdTech and the Democratization of education has massively changed education over the last decade. University and big name institutions still hold a relative monopoly on the global talent pool. We believe this will change massively over the next decade, and the future is one in which credentials given from real life people will matter way more than credentials from old school educational institutions. Thank you guys so much.
Derek, you want to go first?
Perfect. Great job.
Yeah, I don't mind going first. Now, from a position of a recruiter who is recruiting people for my teams, I'm not sure if I would use it for example, at Binance, because, of course, you are not looking for people, for opinions of people who work outside of our company. I want opinion of people who work within Binance and who are my peers or who are my subordinates who will interview the job applicants. So we have about 5 rounds, and every single candidate is basically tested, like whether he conforms to the skills and whether he conforms to the values of the company he is applying for. So I'm not sure I would use a service that basically gives me the opinion from someone outside of the company when it comes to hiring a person. That's point number one. I have a problem with the name Breach XYZ. I had a minute, so I checked the website. The website is currently doesn't have any content, which is fine. But also the website is currently for sale for about 199,000. And don't get me wrong, I like to see a clear exit strategy, but this exit strategy seems to be like bit too fast for me.
Thank you so much for that feedback. Yeah, just a quick comment. It's not meant to replace the hiring. It's just meant to assist in that. So maybe instead of 5 steps, you'd be able to do 4 and spend less money. But that's really helpful feedback. Thank you.
Thank you.
Scott, do you want to go next?
Sure. Well, you guys, I've personally experienced this issue myself, so I know it's pretty rampant, at least especially in the startup industry. I know when you get into big enterprise, it's kind of a whole different ball game. I mean, I could see the evolution of this going that way at some point, but I think even just tackling the startup market, you'd be in pretty good shape. The only thing I'm curious about, I sort of think you can do this without an NFT. I'm not really sure about the NFT play here. I know NFTs are like the hot thing in the market, but I wonder if you could just do this with a native token on chain and really sort of establish the same decentralization and everything else that you're trying to accomplish with a peer-to-peer. I mean, that would probably be my only comment, other than kind of echoing what Tommaso said on the last team, which is just at the end of this, like, have an ask. I don't know if it's money you guys are looking for at this point, or if it's advisors or help helping to kind of validate the product and the problem. I'd throw something in there at the end. Other than that, good job, guys.
We have Barbara, right? Yeah, Barbara.
So, I mean, what I like is like kind of like the peer-to-peer, because I think like every time that you're like, most of the time when you're like hiding someone, you're looking for like talent, you kind of like actually I ask to your friends and like, hey, I need someone. And I think especially in the blockchain world, that is really difficult to find people. I guess this is like in general for everything. But I really like the idea of like how you can like maybe connect between your friends to kind of like find people to like only with recommendations. I was like thinking about the saying that Scott, like, what is the main role of the NFT here? I was like, why do I'm gonna like use NFTs for this? I was thinking like actually the same, like maybe talking is the best option, but I think it's like a pretty interesting kind of like app. I mean, it's the first time that I see something like kind of like this.
Thank you. Thank you, Lindsay.
So I think that your value proposition, personally, I love like this kind of product. And I know there's a few others in the blockchain space that are already thinking about like blockchain-based credentialing of some kind. This interesting idea of basically peer reviewing your peers, like I think you might want to lean a little bit more into is to like how that would look and how do you enable it? Because I know one of the things that's like a big glaring red flag for me right now is that you're going to incentivize people to do all this extra work of reviewing people and like quality reviews. Like that's a lot of work. So I would lean into like, what's your, like the lean startup mentality? What's the experiments you're going to run to really see if this is going to work? And you're going to get people on board enough to give quality reviews. Because if you get that magic right, then I think you've got something that'll really win.
Thank you.
Guys, first of all, congratulations. I believe a lot in your finale. I really believe that the future in education through evidence-based, either peer review or evidence-based learning is going to be the future. So I think you're really onto a fundamental problem for which blockchain might be needed, right? When you assess the problem statement and you walk in your customer's shoes, right? The customer always, when facing a challenge, in this case, somebody who is, recruited, and there is a before, a during, and an after process, right? And in fact, when you design the value proposition, you should be focusing on assessing what is the customer doing before it's, in this situation, recruiting. What is the recruitment process like? And what's the post-recruitment process like, right? So assessing those three phases and maybe starting thinking in which phase you might fit best, right? I mean, you said something that was not part of the actual presentation, which was you don't want to replace, but complement the process, right? And then the question would be complementing when the process, maybe before, right? Maybe this could actually become a tool that enriches evidence-based, right? The talent even before being actually recruited. So maybe deep diving on what phase do you really want to solve a problem, right? And not the recruitment. As a matter of fact, this topic is interesting, but you have a lot of competitors. So being very specific, right, is fundamental. And then I echo what the colleague said. The way you're presenting it right now, I'm also questioning, well, why blockchain or NFT at all, right? But you say, well, you need the evidence and the proof, but then the question is, within this chain of problems, before, during, and after, is there a better moment in which you can solve that problem, right? So yeah, these are my 2 cents. Congratulations, team. Yeah.
Hey, Tommaso, if I could give you one before you move on really quick.
Yeah.
To that last team, have them look at a company called Springworks.
Springworks?
Yeah, all one word, Springworks, and it's Indian-based company, .in, but I think the founder is actually here stateside. They're doing something very similar, so they might want to take a peek at that, and could help them along their journey.
That's fantastic advice. Thank you so much. Guys, thank you, dear jury, for dedicating this time. Please, class, I know that you guys have been preparing. Please join me in a big round of applause for the jury here. Especially to Scott. I know you're in the United States. Thank you a lot. But Sherrick and Barbara are in Europe, so it is what, 5 a.m. in the morning, right? So this is huge dedication again. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And thank you for the valuable feedback. If there is anything we can do here at UC Berkeley for you, please consider that anytime. We really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you so much. We would like to make some final announcements. Yes. And by the way, Timothy and Manan, without you, this would not be possible. So thank you so much. Right then, this is it. Every single class, you guys rock.
Manan is just saying, Thomas, this is what you have to say. Say, yep. Okay. Congratulations. Round 2. Did I say correctly?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, go.
We're
So super excited, right? So this is part 1 of round 2. Next Thursday, we're going to have part 2 of round 2, right? I'm personally very excited to see this very fast-paced level of maturity, right? And what I really enjoy is, and this makes me and I allow me to echo that kind of in conjunction that we dedicate the time here and contribute as part of this class, and seeing you guys mature from day 1 to the second round, right? This is really makes us really happy and joyful. So congratulations from my end, and then congratulations from Dan's sides. Maybe you wanna say 2 sentences.
Cool. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, next time you have to call me if you wear a jacket. I want to wear a jacket too, man. It's not fair.
I'll let you know.
In Silicon Valley jackets, it's not common, man.
I'll give you a heads up next time.
Yeah,
right?
please.
Oh, man.
Okay, cool. Tomorrow we have office hours with
Me. So I'm here in town, and I'm really hoping that I can get all of you guys, if we can, tomorrow in person, just to have a little bit more of like a team and me to understand a lot about more of your architecture and some of the technical aspects, because like that's my role, kind of what I've been here to try and help you guys do, is like figure out what this blockchain thing is really and how do you plug into it in general. So please, let's get together sometime tomorrow, whether you presented today or you're presenting on Thursday, because I really do want to dig into some of this. And part of that comes with a requirement that we're announcing tonight for some technical deliverables that'll come out. And the 26th is now going to be a demo day for the tech specifically. So we've seen some great pitches that you guys are practicing here. This is more low key, I think, in terms of the technical demonstration, where I really want to dig into deeply why you structured your application the way you did, more than to sell a pitch to a VC, right? So we'll be thinking about that. We'll put out those requirements here on Slack here in just a moment. And sign up for my calendar. Just shoot me a calendar invite link sometime tonight.
Speaking of mentorship and additional support, we are planning over the next 2 weeks, but this is more a reactive, not a proactive things, right? To give you access to mentors. So for those teams who would like to have mentorship, okay, please, be proactive in terms of an ask. Say, hey, we would like to have another session with a mentor. Remember at the beginning of, 5-6 months, they fly by in a second. It almost has the feeling. Now you had a lot of mentorship, and the teams were at the beginning, so you couldn't really manage and understand what the value of mentorship is. Maybe now you have a better understanding and maybe needs. So please reach proactively. I would say centralize this through Manan or in our courses. Maybe we send something out who would like mentorship, right? And then we can support you in coordinating one-on-ones with mentors, right? What else do we have here?
Oh, went back. So we're good. That's it.
No, we have now something else that you showed me, right?
Okay, we can do our human student of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to announce
bring
it?
that up?
Manan, you want to announce it?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I will pull it up. Okay, I need to pull it up here. Oh, let me disconnect. No one should get a sneak peek. Okay, so we're actually just going to announce the team and student of the week from week 10, which was 2 weeks ago. Sorry, because we forgot to announce it last week. So we're going to be doing 2 weeks ago team and student of the week today, and then tomorrow on Thursday we're going to announce last week's team and student of the week. Catching up.
Wow, that's tactical. It was planned, right?
I mean, the suspense is good.
Yeah, this is a suspense. So,
and the Oscar.
let me
goes
see.
to-
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Okay, still gotta wait.
Around,
Okay, just plugging it in. Okay, you guys should see it on the moment. Yeah. Okay, so the student of the week. Let me zoom
We're
in.
still rumbling.
It is. Yeah. Yeah, so
congratulations.
Congratulations for your outstanding contribution to the class, team, and exceptional startup work. So once again, give a round of applause. Woo.
So we're going to share this also on our social networks, right? And yeah, last time we had some pretty good engagement there. So congratulations.
Okay, awesome. And now we have our team of the week. It is.
And the team of the week is
Apollo Music. Woo!
Congrats. Congrats.
Yeah, so this is for conducting great work both within and outside of class and highlighting the spirit of entrepreneurship and technology. So once again, congratulations. Awesome.
Okay.
Okay.
What else?
And Tim, we want to talk about final deliverable.
I think we'll announce.
Or should we do that?
Unless, do we want to talk to the final presentations at all more explicitly here?
We can do that. We can do that on Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Perfect.
Yeah, we have five minutes left. I think
Let's
we should create a moment and taking a picture and then who transform it
Yes.
as an NFT.
Oh my gosh.
We take a
Here we
picture also,
go.
given the fact that we have a celebrity in the house, right?
Yes. And I'll
Very
project this
rare
on the
occasion.
screen. Okay, awesome. So we can all come on stage, no?
Yeah, I would
we can
say
have
we do
everyone
it.
come up here.
Yeah, we do this in this direction. Exactly. With that.
Yes,
Sure.
with the TVs.
Maybe if we stop presenting, we can have it on air meet.
Yeah.
You want to actually stop presenting there so we
Oh,
can
yeah,
actually
yeah.
have air meet record a little.
Yeah, let's move all together here. Please.
I'll take it from my phone.
Yeah, we can move it to the congratulations slide, whoever is screen sharing.
Oh, should I do it?
Oh,
Congratulations.
Yeah, we'll move to the congratulations slide.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, how are you? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So who will you take it from your phone? Okay.
I'll do wide angle. Okay, we're gonna have to really squeeze. We're gonna have to do
Let's do one like this, guys. Let's do one like this.
Okay. We'll do one like that, and then we'll squeeze in.
Do we see Berkeley somewhere? Oh, Berkeley's here.
Definitely not.
Where's the health company? If I make them move, guys. 3, 2, 1. Make some noise. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Oh, no, we can pick wherever. I don't mind getting the excuse to explore.
Okay, keep getting it.
Ouais, c'est bon pour eux.
Okay. Cool. And then, do you want it from on this side?
Super.
No, I want to have the innovation. Okay, cool. And then we'll come here. Okay, I will do a. Yeah. Okay, here, 9, 8, 7, 6. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Awesome.
All right. Yeah, you guys worked today when I was in class, right?
Oh, yeah. Let's meet with Are you closing out?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
Oh, I wanted to ask how would they like to share other feedback?
So
Because
what?
I didn't see them fill out the form. So
Yeah, we send a message for that. In case Barbara, Scott, and Jarek, in case you guys are there, thank you so much again. Much appreciated. Barbara, thank you so much again. We'll be sending you the pictures. And again, as I was mentioning, if there is anything I can do, we can do here at UC Berkeley, usually recruitment, be part of some more of those activities, please feel free to reach out to me. Okay, I'm very thankful for that. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Yes.
Thank you
Thank
very
you so
much.
much for the invitation. Question: do we have to fill out the pitch round 2 for each team?
Come again, sorry.
Do we need to fill out the feedback for each team on the link that you guys sent us, or not?
If you would, I mean, we definitely share the feedback with the class, right?
Oh, okay.
If you have been doing it, or you can at least do for those which you remember, for the startups you remember,
Yeah, of
this would
course.
be helpful for them. But I would totally respect and understand if you didn't get to it or you have not doing it. It's okay. Okay.
No, yeah, I can do it. Just I wonder if I needed to do it. But thank you so much. I will do it.
Thank you so much, Barbara.
We'll
again.
definitely do it. Thank you very
Jarek.
much,
Thank you
Tommaso.
so much, Scott.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys.
All right.
Thank
take
you.
care.
Thank you. Bye. Stay in touch. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.